Welcome back. BS usually has bad connotations, but some BS being served up at a senior living home in Waconia is serving a pretty good purpose. And as Boyd Hooper reports, that's no BS.
Birds get it. Life out here is better together. Same inside.
So how are you guys doing today?
At Westview Acres Senior Living, the men at this coffee-fueled twice-a-week meetup came up with a name.
The Men's BS Coffee Club.
Perfect.
You got it. BS.
Unless you're Denise Leonhardt, who sends out the activities calendar to residents and their families.
Yeah, I have different meaning for those two words. Boys with stories.
The boys scoffed.
Right. BS. Just exactly.
Then, as the men went about their BSing,
Life has its ups and its downs.
a funny thing happened.
The ladies were jealous, yes.
Good morning, Phyllis.
They wanted
We love gossiping.
their own BS club.
Beautiful and successful ladies. That's what we are.
Men here, women there. And Denise, perfectly placed.
Did you see how dolled up she is today?
And I can hear what they're talking about.
The last couple of weeks, the doctor got mad at me because I put on, I'm sure, 5 pounds. I was supposed to lose 28 pounds.
Or maybe your scale was off.
So which table better earns the BS title?
I would say there. Yeah, they do.
Ours is true, theirs is BS.
Boy, that's the news that they spend it. That's really something.
Because they like to.
Well, but that's
She always got some bullshit to say.
You know what's really fun is to listen to the laughter.
But laughter is only the half of it.
Yeah, they have some really deep conversations out there.
It was a tough time.
Sherry Geeson, like most of the women at her table,
Oh, yeah.
lost her husband.
I lost mine in 2001.
And it'll be 6 years next month that she's passed away.
Nick Kranz lost 2 wives.
Yep.
Not an easy path.
No. And I lost 2 kids.
It's definitely therapeutic.
Denise recently overheard one of those talks.
It was kind of a raw conversation because he just laid it all out there, how they met, how they fell in love, and how much he misses her. And then they told about their spouses and how hard it is.
BS
It's helpful.
is also
I find it so anyway.
being supportive.
Most of the time when they leave, they have smiles on their face, and not necessarily when they come down.
Like oxygen, conversations sustain life.
We get together like this and stuff, and it helps.
Take it from the birds in the bush. BS is best seats in the house.
So that'll be the coldest day of the year.
Boyd Hooper, Carol 11 News,
Here we go, girls.
Waconia.
30 below.
Now, the Women's BS Club avoids political discussions. The men have no such prohibition. When the conversation turns political, they say they try to be respectful of each other's opinions or just sit quietly until the subject passes. The Olympics are all about the best of the best in sports, and in this year's host city of Milan, there's a Starbucks considered the best in the world. Alicia Lewis has more from Milan.
Starbucks has around 30,000 locations around the world, but this one here in Milan behind me is considered one of the absolute best. And it's not because it's in this historic building, but when you get inside, it's like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory, but for coffee. In historic Milan, Italy,
Coming to this building is honestly an experience.
Oscar Quintana
Hello, I'm Oscar Quintana. I'm master roaster here in Milan.
is one of the few master roasters in all of Starbucks.
We are only 12 around the world in all Starbucks coffee company.
Who just happens to work in what many say is the best Starbucks on the planet.
Yeah, because honestly, this is the most beautiful Starbucks.
The Milan Starbucks Reserve Roastery opened in 2018 after years of work to transform the old Italian stock exchange and post office building
have some Guatemala beans
into a coffee shop like no other.
The facade is beautiful because before the first use of this building was as the stock exchange, then it was the post office, and now it's the roastery.
That inside feels like Willy Wonka got into the coffee business.
This is the Willy Wonka coffee.
At the center is the dancing
You
lady,
reproduce every batch of green coffee that comes into the roast.
a 22-foot tall, first-of-its-kind coffee roaster that unfolds and rotates so people can see beans being roasted. Before those beans are pumped through tubes running high above the store so they can be used on the spot or shipped out to other Starbucks stores.
All the coffee that you can actually taste is coffee that gets roasted, packed, and delivered here in this roastery.
With this coffee shop boxing and shipping out a metric ton of coffee
It's crazy.
each and every day. All inside this unique store, decorated in Italian marble from Tuscany, custom handcrafted tile floors. With a coffee bar where you can taste more than 100 different coffee drinks, including coffee only roasted in this
This is
store.
the only roastery, this is the only place that you can find this coffee. So it's a microblend because it's unique. We serve it only here.
All in the heart of the 2026 Winter Olympic host city,
For us, it's also an honor to be part of the city in that moment.
where Oscar says getting a cup of coffee is getting a gold medal experience like no other.
Everyone came together to just bring a beautiful Starbucks for our customers, but also for us.
And what also makes this Starbucks unique is that they roast the Milano blend that you can only get here in Milan, Italy. And I have to say, it is by far one of my favorite cups of coffee I've ever had. Cheers.
And I know Alicia drinks about 6 cups of coffee a day, so that's saying something. Stick with us. More news and weather's coming up after the break.